Доброе время суток, уважаемые подписчики областной библиотеки имени Сабиты Муканова. Сегодня я здесь, чтобы рассказать о книгах. Они все, в принципе, объединены плюс-минус одной тематикой, точнее, одним, скажем, стилем или направлением. Это то, что я так или иначе рекомендую читать, в основном на летнее время, я объясню почему чуть позже, но, в общем-то, в любое время суток. So, today I'm here to tell you about some books and some writers that I'm actually really enjoying reading them, and I recommend you to read them or just to try. So, first of all, I want to tell you why do I have these books, and all of them, they have one and the same, so to say, not a style, but maybe the idea or the foundation. So all of them are in this or that way, like the postmodernistic or even metamodernistic books, because they have some foundation of what we already had. That's about the realistic and the Gothic British novels that were 19th century, 20th century, but they are reworked. So they are not from those times, they are not from the 19th century or from the 20th century, although one of them is actually here. But anyway, they have this, type of text or the structure of text that is based on the classic British novels from, the works of Charles Dickens, or from Austen, Jane Eyre, or maybe Brontes, Justice Brontes, and there's Wuthering Heights, and Jane Eyre, and so on and so forth. So the first one book and the first one writer I would like to talk about is David Mitchell, and I have this book in Russian, but I actually studied it in English. So actually you may know it because the most popular work is called Cloud Atlas, and if I'm not mistaken, we have a film that was based on this work. And actually I would like to recommend you just this writer. Not particularly this book, although I will tell you about it, but exactly about the writer. Why I was interested in this writer, because actually I come across them when I was a student, and the theme of my diploma paper was about polyphony, and what was interesting that his main novels and his main novel Cloud Atlas was a polyphonic novel. That's why it was so interesting for me. But what I can say here is today I will more tell you about this one book that was called Slade House. So maybe it is really cool or close, has some connection and reference to the traditional Charles Dickens Bleak House, maybe in some way, but actually I would say it's more like adult fairy tale that was mixed with some detective story, mystery, and maybe just in some little features is close to Charles Dickens. Anyway, so the main idea of this book is about a strange house that is actually understandable according to the title of the book, and the mysterious disappearing of different people, their deaths, something happens with their soul, and we have the investigation of this one case. And what I want to tell you about this, why do I recommend to try this book too? Because actually if you read Cloud Atlas, or for example here's another one good work that I also recommend, Ghost Written, they have particular story, they have particular storyline, different characters, they have amazing text structure that is a little bit mixed, and you have no idea about the time about the end of the story, and they are really closely connected with each other. So they are truly polyphonic novels. But this is more about classic Dickens / Arthur Conan Doyle's works. So that's why I think it's just a good one shot for trying something new from David Mitchell. And what I can tell you that actually the idea of this work is originated from his Twitter that was published and related to another his work. And then it was like developed into the full novel. So it's a good one. It's unusual for him, for maybe his style, for his writing. It's a pretty easy in some way, like maybe not so serious work, because Cloud Atlas is really challenging work. But this is, well, just a good one, detective with some mysterious moments, what I like here. So, and just continuing this line of some detectives or mysterious storylines, you may know this work, you may know this writer, because I'm talking about Diane Satterfield, and actually her bestseller was That 13th Tale, and if I'm not mistaken, it was like 2013, year when it was very popular. So if you have never read it, I will truly recommend you, because it's again like a mixture of Gothic novels like Frankenstein and Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights and some Dickens's works, again because it is about particular places in Britain. All here is Britain, and this story is about some unusual family and people that had to deal with this family. These girls that were actually like main characters of the story, and only maybe till the very end you will have no idea about the mysterious element there. But then maybe you are a very attentive reader, or maybe the writer will tell you, because the writer will tell you. So there you will find this mysterious point or hint what is happening here, and that's why these 13 tales tends to be amazing. So actually just explaining you what is happening here if you had no idea about this book. So this is a story about a young girl. She is a young journalist, and once she got the invitation from a famous writer, and what was interesting in this writer, this woman had like a secret life. Nobody knew anything about her past, her family, and now she wants to tell about her life, her real life, life story. And what is interesting, that actually this writer published the book 13 Tales, but there were only 20 stories there. So what about the 13th tale? So here it is. So, and I actually know, and I have also in Russian version, the second novel, Bellman and Black, and some people tell that it's more serious work. It's like you are diving deeper into the ghost stories. But actually today I'm just wanting you to know about this writer and telling you more about her third novel that was recently read by me, or actually I listened it, like using audiobook, that is called Once Upon a River. It's really close to the today's like pack of books. They have one particular style, one particular idea. So actually it's an amazing story about Oxfordshire, about that part of the popular or the famous river Thames that is in London, but we are talking about some other part of this river from Oxfordshire. And the main like idea is about a little girl that was found from the crash on the river, and everybody thought that she was dead, and then it occurred that she is alive. So, and the secret of her personality, where she's from, like who are the parents, and what is happening here, bless you. So everything here is about this one girl, and when you start to realize what is happening or how to get acquainted with her past, you will know about many other people that are having this or that connection with the story. So, as I told you, I have recently not read it. I used an audiobook actually in English, and it was just amazing about the style, about the stories, characters, and what I really was interested in is that the idea, so Once Upon a River, it was a big set of the nature. It was like huge forest, river, fields. So the set was really great, while the number of characters was really low, and there was an interesting balance between them, and like a good one idea, finding something more about some particular characters and then connection than thinking about what is surrounding you, like not a big one city like London, but something more close to traditional British people, islands, their places, inns, factories, just little houses. So the story is just amazing. So if you have read The Sutton's Tale, or maybe you just listened about it, so I'm strongly recommending you to try her last novel that was called Once Upon a River. So just try it, and I think you will dive deep into the story, and you will be really satisfied with it. So coming to the next book, I've recently read it, and I read it in Russian, but I will explain about it in English. So it's the Irish writer Ray O'Donnell. This book is called in Russian Дом в вечерних песках, but in English that's the house in the West Sands, if I'm not mistaken. So it's also some sort of the mystery, so you have some mysterious event or crime, and you need to find out what is happening here and how to solve it if it's some sort of a riddle. So here the idea that one of the main characters, being very important, I'm telling the one of, not the one main character, so you have different characters here. And the one of the main characters had to spend a cold winter night in London in a little chapel, and there he found out that his so to say, friend, a girl, was there, and she was in a strange condition, and suddenly she disappeared, and he tries to find her, and this is starting the idea of a big one crime of killing little girls that are just like angels, and what is happening and why all these murders were strange. So again, it's not about just detective story, it's about mystery. So something mysterious, something supernatural here. And what I like here, as it was in David Mitchell and it was in Satterfield's work, that's about the Britain. Here we have London, here we have the Victorian era, and it was quite good scripted, so just not the great one description, but just hints that will give you the full good one picture of that time, of that period. And what is amazing here that characters are different and they are really, really far away from being ordinary people. So some of them just give you the idea that you shouldn't be an ordinary person because maybe with ordinary persons nothing will happen. Well, here we have amazing story, a little bit tragic, maybe in some way depressive, but good one work. And mainly in the style of narration is really close to Dickens. So if you like Dickens, so you will like this work. So again, it's like a detective with a mystery here, supernatural powers. And what also is amazing that this is only a book and like the only one story, and when you will read it till the end, that's all. You shouldn't find another one book or trying to wait for the second one, like the second part of it. No, just the one story in a one book with amazing place, like the Victorian era. London on the Victorian era is just amazing one place. So, and I understand perfectly that my recommendation is called about summer, and here we have winter. So that's why the next one book that I want you to read or to try is about summer. Like summer has one of the good parts of this work that was also recently read by me. That is called the Thursday Murder Club. I was actually studying this book because I was interested in the title. Like, what does it mean, Thursday Murder Club? Like, murder club, what does it mean? People are murdering, or vice versa, they try to solve the riddles. So, first of all, the set. Again, Britain. Well, you can understand I love Britain and British language, and here we have it. And it's also not a center of Britain, it's just a good one, so to say, little part or little land of peace Britain, when old people are living. They have an amazing center, and being actually very honest with you, I would like to live there. I'm not old, but I would like to live there. So, and the season is summer, totally summer, and good description of it, like a lot of green colors, a lot of water, forests, just fresh air, mountains, just amazing. And what is happening here? So, what about this murder club? Murder club is about several people, old people, all of them like 70, 80, maybe even 90, and they are having their meetings, as you can understand, according to the title, on Thursdays. So they have different riddles, crimes, and they try to, using theoretical discussion, trying to solve it. Well, it's interesting because every character, every part or member of this club has his or her own past. So some of them were police officers or doctors. So they know a lot and their experience is just great. So what I like here is these characters are old ladies and gentlemen, but it doesn't mean that they are dull or they don't want to do something, because they are very active. They strive to live their life till the end and to use all they have. And what is really amazing, because usually we think like old people, they just sit and read or eat or sleep, and here we have very, very active members of this club. And so they had a lot of theoretical material, like only theory, they trying to discuss, trying to solve this. And so what is happening here, almost at the beginning of the book, they have the real crime that is happening in their place of living. and that makes them change their life in the way they firstly had only theoretical discussions. Now they need to use all their experience and knowledge to solve this. So it's ironical, it's humoristic, yet it's serious, because such type of detectives, when you have one crime and while you are investigating the crime, you will find the secrets of different people, and other stories, maybe from other century, will just reveal, and you will have not just a picture of one crime, but several pictures that will have a good one structure of the full event. So I usually recommend books, and this one too. So this is a bit different from the previous books, just because it's just detective story. There is no mystery here, but the way how it is presented and how it is described, and about the characters are really unusual, like old ladies and gentlemen. Come on, we don't have a lot of books about it. So this is really good. So again, I was reading it in Russian, but I've get acquainted with some chapters in English, and it was a good one, British language. Nothing hard or challenging, just normal English that will be really good for reading, just for enjoying some, English. And well, just to continue the idea of the summer, I want to recommend the last one book. Unfortunately, I don't have it in printed form, only in electronic one. So that, the last one book, is also that continues the type of the novel, like a traditional British novel. But what is interesting here is these writers are pretty modern. They were published on our 21st century. The last one book that I recommend to read today is about the last one century. Amazing writer, amazing British writer was Iris Murdoch, and her work that is called The Sandcastle. Why do I recommend The Sandcastle? Because it's pretty easy and unchallengeable work of this writer, and maybe you would like to know more about it. Thank you very much. It was just for in time. So, why do again I recommend The Sandcastle? The Sandcastle is a good one story by Iris Murdoch, and she's, as I told you before, a great British writer of the post the Second World War time, the period of that life, and she has a brilliant style of narration. And if you may want to have some acquaintance with this writer, so I recommend to start with The Sandcastle. The Sandcastle, according to the title, has something about sand and about castle. So it's about some relations, some ideas, plans that are not so strong, and you can break them easily as a sand castle made of sand. But so, why do I recommend to read it? The first one thing is about summer, and as we have summer in different types of weather, but still we have summer. This book has amazing description of this season. So it's also about British place. It's about a little one town. More to say, it's about a school, a boys' school from the past century. And so the description of nature, of summer nature, that is just amazing. You are just savoring this season. And well, again, I'm here talking about it because it's about the August period of summer, and it's just in a couple of days we'll have the August, so it's a good one. reason to start this book just this time. And again, what about the main idea of the story? We have a main character, a schoolmaster from that school for boys, and his life is pretty quiet and unchangeable. He has a family, his wife, his son and daughter, and everything's just okay. And he, as about 40-50 years old person in Britain, he starts to think about his new career in politics, and he has really good, opportunities there. But suddenly we have the visit of a young artist lady that was called Rain, and this one visit had changed everything. So they have love affair, but what is interesting here, it's not the main idea, it's just the way how to show how this love affair would change the life of every person that is mentioned in the book. So his life, the life of his wife, his children, his friends, his colleagues, so everything is starting to be changed. And also this novel is about, choice. Like at the end of the book, he has a choice. So he had plans before this meeting with a girl, and he has some desires and some, new plans with the girl, and he has just choice what to choose. So actually the end will be maybe a little bit disappointing, but it's really realistic one. Although it's strange, really realistic, so still. But the main idea, again, while I'm recommending, because the style is just amazing, great British language, then in some way it's like traditional British novel. So again, traditional British, like the foundation is one and the same. And what's also interesting is the description of summer. So I know that these books that I recommended before, they had some more serious structure, maybe idea about some detective, about some mysteries, supernaturals. Here again, you will have no mystery, you will have no detective story, but the structure of the text is really traditional one in British, and it's super summer, so it's like really savory in summer in every little hint or every little detail of it. So that's why it's maybe a little bit out, it's a bit odd to these one set of books, but still I think this is a good one finish to this set of books. So again, I will remind you that the majority of the books that I was talking about today is based on the idea of traditional British novel of 19th century and 20th century. And I know that maybe for someone you would like to read something else, but why do I recommend to try something like this in summer? Because this is a good one time when you can just sit and spend your time slowly reading something, maybe with a glass of water or lemonade, or with a cup of tea or coffee. So I think this is a perfect time for reading such type of novels. Even some of them are about winter, even this one. So, подводя итоги, сегодня я представила несколько авторов и их произведений. В основном они все были, скажем, связаны одной тематикой. Это, скажем, таким традиционным британским романом, структурой традиционного британского романа 19-20 веков. Это что-то вроде подражание Диккенсу, Остин, Мэри Шелли, но при этом более современный, скажем, взгляд на эти вещи. То есть это постмодернизм, это метамодернизм, когда, в принципе, мы взяли что-то, что уже было, но смотрим на это с другой стороны. Поэтому, если вы, в принципе, любили такие произведения, или любите, или наоборот, даже не любите такие произведения, то, мне кажется, очень интересно попробовать этих авторов и их произведения, потому что они все равно дают определенный другой угол, даже, наверное, несколько углов просмотра на определенные ситуации, на определенные места. Они в основном так или иначе немножечко исторические, но они показывают эту историю очень интересно, и когда ты в нее погружаешься, ты чувствуешь себя частью этой истории, и, в принципе, уже не кажется странным не иметь телефона или ездить на карете. Поэтому это по своей структуре вроде как и похожи на то, что уже было, на классику, но, тем не менее, они очень современные и не безинтересные. Также большая часть этих книг так или иначе основана на детективных историях, а детективные истории интересны абсолютно всегда, насколько я так предполагаю. И также большинство из них так или иначе связаны не только с детективом, но и определенной мистикой, то есть это определенная магия, сверхъестественная, что тоже в настоящее время достаточно популярно и интересно, хотя, я полагаю, в общем-то, в любое время интересно. Поэтому еще раз поясняю, почему я рекомендую летнее чтение именно такой вид, тип книг, потому что, мне кажется, это самое оно для того, чтобы летом можно было вечерком спокойно посидеть, медленно, скажем, читать эти книги, не спеша куда-то, не торопясь, с чашечкой чая или кофе, и, скажем, от нынешнего лета немножечко уйти куда-то чуть в прошлое и посмотреть, как люди в то время жили и как происходили очень многие события. Тем более, что во всех этих книгах, которые я писала, персонажи очень необычные и, что, мне кажется, очень хорошо может встряхнуть, особенно летом, когда летом хочется отдохнуть и, скажем, расслабиться. Поэтому еще раз рекомендую читать всегда. В данном случае рекомендую читать именно эти книги. Либо хотя бы просто познакомиться с этими авторами. Всем спасибо за внимание. До новых встреч!